Hi everyone, welcome back to the Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talk. Today we are going to be talking about roadside mowing safety. Why are we talking about it? Because there are dangers in operating the equipment. There are dangers to the operator from traffic and to the traffic from the mower operator. And there are hazards in the grass that you're cutting. So we need to know about all of these things when we're out there doing roadside mowing. So why do we mow in the first place? According to the Federal Highway Administration's Vegetation Control for Safety Manual, written in 2007 and hasn't changed much, these are the reasons we mow or try to control vegetation alongside the road. First of all, we want to keep signs visible to drivers, so it's a sightline issue, as well as keep road users, which are vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians, visible to drivers. Improve visibility of livestock and wildlife near the road, so again, sightline issues. Help pedestrians and bikelists see motor vehicles. Keep sidewalks and pedestrian paths clear and free from overhanging vegetation. Removing trees close to the roadway, which could result in a severe crash if hit. So we need to get those out of the way. Improving winter road maintenance in snow and ice areas. Helping drainage systems function as designed. Preserving pavements through daylighting and root system control. And controlling noxious weeds in accordance with local laws and ordinances. It's your job to make sure this task is done and no one gets injured in the process. And there are many ways to control roadside vegetation. We're just going to take a look at a few types of mowers most commonly used and the hazards that might be associated with them. So here's some of them. Again, there are many different types of mowers used in roadside mowing. These are really the most common ones, and probably you've got something like this in your shop someplace. Here's some of the hazards associated with all of them, regardless of what kind you're using. They are all noisy, with sound levels at 90 to 100 decibels. If you're not sure if that's an acceptable level, refer to the Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talk on hearing protection and find out. They are all able to throw projectiles a good distance and do some serious damage if anyone's hit by those projectiles. They can cause cuts, burns, and amputations without throwing any projectiles, all by themselves. They can hurt you. And they can all roll over. Even a push mower can roll over. We're going to go over the selection of mowers, discuss push mowers, riding mowers, and bigger tractors. But first, let's look at ways to minimize or reduce some of the general hazards. So PPE for mowing includes eye protection, gloves, safety vest if you're in the right of way, boots, and hearing protection. This is general PPE for mowing. Your agency may have other requirements, but using PPE will reduce the effect of noise on your hearing if you're using hearing protection. It will protect your eyes, keep you much safer in general. Don't wait until something hits you in the eye before you put the goggles on. And I'll tell you from experience that, well, we all know how the smallest little speck of dust feels, right, when it's stuck in your eye. Imagine something bigger hitting your eye at a much greater velocity. And I'll tell you, it does hurt. And waiting until that happens to put the goggles on is just the worst idea ever. No matter what type of mower you're using, make sure it's in good working condition before you go out there and try to operate it. Keep all the guards, including any drag shields or discharge deflectors, in place. In fact, don't ever use a piece of equipment without all the guards and shields in place, no matter what it is. And you'll hear this again, probably. Keep the blade sharp and the chutes clear. Maintain engine according to manufacturer's specs. Don't remove the grass catcher or unclog a discharge chute while the motor is running. Now, I know this really seems like a no-brainer and kind of common sense, but I'll tell you, people are sticking their hands into the chutes with the blades turning all the time. I've seen pictures and actual evidence of the damage. It's ugly. Don't do it. Do a walk around and clear the area of trash and debris before you mow to avoid some of those projectiles that get thrown from the mower. I've seen the lids of a can come off and come out of there and almost take somebody's head off. So watch out for small things like that too. Stay clear of people and pedestrians. If you're near a sidewalk or anywhere near pedestrians, stop mowing until the pedestrians are well away from the mower chutes. If you're crossing gravel areas or places where there's loose debris, turn off the blades. before you're cleaning or performing any maintenance, turn off the mower, let it cool, remove the spark plug, and follow any lockout tagout procedures that your agency may have, and do not touch the hot engine. One other thing with a push mower, and this is just for push mowers, if you mow across the slope so that if you slip, you're going across and your feet won't slide under the mower, and on the downhill slope, the mower won't roll back over you. So, I mean, that's if you're on the downhill slope, and make sure that you know, go across so that you're on the uphill, the mower won't roll back on you. If you've got a tractor mower, so if you've got something bigger, right? We've got these mowers. You probably all have these in your shop, whether it's a flail mower or a boom arm slope over the fence mower, whatever you call it. Um, Never, ever, ever mow a wet slope, and always follow the manufacturer's procedures for mowing slopes. They'll tell you exactly what angle the slope is, where it's safe and where it's not safe. If the slope is not too steep and you decide to mow it, always go slow. Mow across the face of a gentle slope and up and down on steeper slopes greater than 5 degrees, and never mow a slope greater than 15 degrees, right? Don't try to stabilize the mower by putting your foot on the ground or with any kind of makeshift counterweights or stabilizers. If it's not part of your machine or designed to be part of your machine, don't use it. And don't stick your foot out to stabilize it. Your foot's going to lose every time. Watch for uneven terrain that could destabilize the mower, and that's one of the reasons that you want to always, always go slow if you're on any kind of a slope, because if you hit a hole or anything like that, it'll destabilize and you're already leaning and you could just easily go over. Be aware of any obstacles, holes, drainage structures, or any other hazards that might be hidden in the high grass. And here's another bit of experience. It's no fun unwinding barbed wire or any kind of wire fence when it's been totally spooled around your blades or your machine. It's not fun, so find it first. And also, it creates a hazard farther away from the machine than you would expect. If you catch one of those fences or one of those pieces of barbed wire, it could be farther down the road and it could impact somebody else that's a good distance away that you might not even notice. So watch for those. Always, always start the mower from the seat. Don't ever stand next to it and turn the key and try to start it that way. Tractors are all these machines are designed for one operator, one driver, one person only. So only operate it from the driver's seat and never ever carry a passenger. And just a word to those of you who have riding mowers at home. They're also designed for one person, and I know there is the temptation to bring a child on that machine and take it for a ride around the grass while you're cutting with you, but don't do it. It's the worst idea ever, and there are many, many, many cases of horrible incidents where that has gone terribly wrong. Don't do it. Drive slowly and watch for hazards on the ground and overhead, and decrease your speed on corners, slopes, or any place at all that could cause a rollover. But be very aware of your surroundings. Keep your head on a swivel and know exactly where you are and where you're going. So selection of the mower, you need to know what your job is and what kind of mower is going to do the job for you. So tractor mowers are all self-propelled, these types of things here, these John Deeres, and designed to mow large areas of grass, anything over an acre usually. Garden tractors, the smaller ones here, are used for larger than 2 acres, areas that are pretty big, good size, large lawns. And these you can put attachments on them like plows, tillers, cultivators, other types of implements. They can be of more use than just mowing. Push mowers, you probably all got these, and these are designed for smaller areas or areas that are inaccessible to other mowers. We used to put these in Connecticut in the what they call the battleships on the interstates where they had fence that met the bridge structures or things that were in the way, and you couldn't get a mower in there. You couldn't get the arm of a slope mower to fit in there, so we would drop a push mower or a weed whacker in there and get it done. And then, you've probably all got some hybrid type creature like this in your facility that might be useful to you. But regardless of what it is, know how to operate it and what everything does and how it all moves before you go out there. This, this looks like a little bit of overkill, but I don't know. It looks like it's totally doing the job. Okay. Safety features on a mower. So there are a few that are common to most mowers. Most usually they will have some type of operator presence control system that shuts the blades off when the operator has either gotten off the machine, lifts off the seat, puts it in reverse, or has, in a push mower has let go of the handle. Right? You've seen those. Interlocks, these ensure that the engine cannot start if the mower is in gear or if the blades are engaged. So this is going to prevent anyone from turning that key while somebody may be under there working on it or unprepared for it to start working. All the guards should remain in place. I think you heard that before. You might hear it again. If your tractor is equipped with a rollover protection system, make sure to fasten the seatbelt with each use. The seatbelt is part of that rollover protection system. It won't work without the seatbelt. So, safety for the operator. There are a couple things that are common for operator safety. Goggles, safety goggles, PPE, right? It's always going to be there, or it always should be there for you, and you should never work without it. But the safety goggles will protect your eyes from dirt, dust, trash, or any stones or anything thrown up by the blades. Proper clothing, long pants, keep your hair tied back, sturdy, non-slip shoes or boots, no scarves, ties, or any lanyard or long jewelry or anything that could get entangled in the equipment. Always wear hearing protection and always be fit for duty. And that means no medications that impair your ability to operate equipment. And equipment means any of these mowers that we've talked about today, including a push mower. Gloves, make sure you have gloves. And then most of all, make sure you know the machine and its hazards, whether it's a simple push mower or one of those crazy octopus looking things that we saw earlier. All right, before you start operating the machine, read the manual and know where all the controls are and how they function. Every machine is a little bit different. Walk the area that you're going to mow and look for all that debris that we spoke about and any objects that could cause damage to the mower or people in the vicinity of your job. Sharpen the blades. Keep your blades sharp. The job is it's bad enough to have to do the job. Make it easier and keep your blades sharp and your machine working really well. Check and fill all the fluids. Make sure it's full and ready to go and operational. And make sure you check for loose belts or parts and that all the guards are in place. Okay, when you get ready to fuel it, so most of these now are still combustion engine equipment, and when it's time to fuel the mower, make sure you know what kind of fuel to put in it. Is it gasoline, diesel? Is it a gas oil mix? What goes in it? How does this thing work? Read the manual to find out. Don't overfill the tank. You need to leave a little bit of room for expansion. Let the engine cool before you start adding fuel to it. And above all, there should be no matches, lighters, absolutely no smoking around the mower while you're fueling it. Sounds like a great time to take a break, have a cigarette, but no, not while you're fueling the machine. It's a bad idea. Okay, make sure that you enter traffic. Before you enter traffic with the mower, make sure that all the warning lights are on and working. Make sure that your work zone is properly installed and that your flaggers are in place. Make sure your signs are up and that you're working within your work zone. Don't be tempted to start just a little before the signs. Make sure you are covered by the work zone. And aim any grass shoots away from traffic or pedestrians or travel areas where you might find traffic or pedestrians. When you're finished, make sure you clean the machine. You can see in this photo here how much grass just kind of sprays all around and gets stuck all over everything. Idle the engine before you clean it. And clean under and over the mower deck. Make sure you get all that stuff off the top of the mower deck and that you can see the condition of your equipment when you go to inspect it. Make sure you grease it and fuel it. Check the tires. Make sure your tires are still in good shape. Lock and secure the machine in a safe place. And if you're using equipment with attachments or anything like that, some of those over the fence or slope mowers, place them in the manufacturer's recommended position for storing. I don't know whether that's up, down, flat, however it's supposed to be stored. do it that way. And above all things, before you go, make sure you chuck the wheels and make sure that you're leaving the